Hello and welcome to episodes 95 and 96 of Too Long Didn't Watch, where we pick up right where our party left off the last time we saw them up to 4 months ago. After being confronted by Fabian, Lucian's uncle, Locke decides to step forward and say the worst thing he could.
We came here representing members of the Circle, and we're going to leave and return to them now.
Now knowing the party is here on behalf of the Circle, he decides to take them in for questioning, escorting them out to carriages to take them to the palace.
Peer out and see this well-maintained and beautifully landscaped space and at the bottom of a large staircase that leads up to the palace.
After negotiating with the Queen, Fabian demands that we have the dragon orbs, stating that they need them for the safety of the kingdom. Asking for a bag of holding, he dumps it out as they spill on the floor. Seeing the dragon orbs, he leans down, picks up, and turns to the Queen with a vicious smirk.
Fabian kind of turns away from her and says, "No, Your Majesty, I don't think so." And then you guys hear the sounds of fighting coming from the doors and the clashing of weapons from outside of the room.
Oh, shit.
And then the doors burst open.
Oh, no!
And the royal guards are being pushed into the room fighting back to back with other troops as they're being assailed by strange, almost cult-like robed individuals wearing masks that mirror those of the likeness of dragons. You should very carefully consider the decision that is being offered. You may join me and the cult of domination in ushering in a new era of world domination on behalf of Takesis. Or you can die here with the individuals that you were with.
With Lucian having decided to side with his uncle, battle breaks out as the party fights, the enemy even calling a dragon to its aid.
Oh, dude, you straight fucking, knock him unconscious. Just hits the floor. Boom. Out. Drops his weapon. And then it just says, once again, which one of you is holding the final orb? And
Lo, to thee I see my mother. Lo, to thee I see my brothers and my sisters. Before you I see a dragon. And I, Godric, Anguson, bearer of the Dragon Slayer runes, will be your combatant today.
the dragon just unleashes this massive wave of fire in your compatriot's direction. And, the fire and as he lets up and just, it comes back in, there's just so much smoke and, ash on the ground that you guys can't even identify your friends' bodies.
In a moment of desperation, Alric pulls the black dragon orb and uses it against the dragon.
Blood from his wounds almost start kind of coming up, levitating out of his body in droplets, and it starts seeping into the dragon orb, just drop by drop. And then there's a light, very, very light, almost dim greenish glow that starts to kind of come from the inside. And it pulses a couple of times. And then streaks of magical light just dart out from within the dragon orb, and they strike the red dragon. You hear that very distinct voice come through. This soft, authoritative woman's voice. It says, "No, my dear. Not before we complete our bargain." And then you all feel a surge of powerful magical energy rush through you as you are brought back from the brink of death.
The battle ends with Fabian and Lucian escaping through a portal, and the mighty dragon flees through a crack in the roof. As a reward for saving the Queen, she awards them the land owned by Fabian and Lucian.
Either way, we owe you a debt that I don't believe that I can honestly fully reward, but I can start with a few things. The first of which is what to do with the land and titles granted to Fabian and his family over all these years. I start by bequeathing you Lucian's personal home and town home and their family lands. They are now yours.
Katerina steps from the carriage and sees the Hound of Ill Omen and feels her very core shake.
Patiently awaiting its master to come home at the door. And it stands up as it sees you. And it looks at you. And you hear that soft but firm female voice again in your head. I will not wait for this much longer. Now is the time. You must remember, not all of you left Avernus. One of you was left as collateral.
Oh.
And tears just silently start streaming out of Katarina's eyes. I am going to use as many of my sorcerer points as I need to, so that nobody else hears me saying anything or doing anything. I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna finish the incantation.
And so, like, while she's marrying, I hold up one finger and say, if you would, I understand. I'm going to undo my pendant, and it is just a small pendant of a small, dark steeled raven. I'm going to hand it out and give it to you.
And then you see some sort of form coming out of the darkness, erupting nearby Nikolai, clawing its way through dimensions from another plane, from another land. Nikolai, as you stand there and looking up towards the moon, thinking about your travels, you look forward, and there, across the sea of gold and white light, you see all of the servants and all of the clerics of the lands that have come before who have served your goddess, and they welcome you into their realm. They call for you. They reach out to you. Comfort and warmth is on the other side. And you reach out to touch fingertips through a plain, almost water-like glass substance. But it's then closed and darkness overwhelms you. And Katarina, the last that you see as he is reaching outwards to touch something beyond your comprehension, is a crooked, dark creature. A living shadow engulfs him and tears him violently into another dimension. And then the darkness recedes. The lights come back. The hound nudges at your leg. Job well done, servant of Hecate. Your friend will be returned shortly. And your father? We can lead you to him as well. For all the wrongs and mistreatments of the world that you have felt, they will be righted. Just embrace her power. Until next Friday.
That's the shit right there! That's it right there! Oh my god!
And that's your Legendary Action recap. As always, thank you for stopping by and supporting our wonderful production. Catch our live streams Fridays at 7:30 PST to see a bunch of unapologetic nerds play the world's greatest role-playing game on Twitch at Legendary Action Official. Thank you, and have a magnificent evening.